welcome, it's Betsy. I have a practice that is a really, really great practice to get you grounded, get you in your body. It's a fabulous one to start your day with, and it's a fabulous one to do every day. We could all use routine right now, and what I would strongly recommend, if you have the space for it in the morning, is to wake up and do your practice. There is nothing like a morning practice to really set you up and set your tone for the day. And if you're doing any meditative work, it's really great to do it in the morning before the mind starts spinning. It can make such a big difference. And so I hope I see you here a lot. I'd love to practice with you every morning. We're going to do some of my favorite practices. I'll do a little bit of breath work, we'll do a little bit of movement, get grounded, and then we'll end in a really, another breath practice in a really sweet spot. So, finding a comfortable seat here, you might want to sit up on a block or a blanket, a pillow, something that allows the hips to get a little bit higher than the knees, but find that comfortable seat. And we'll start with one of my all-time favorite breaths called Ego Eradicator. And we'll place the hand here on the belly. This is a great way to get oriented to it. So if you pretend you're panting like a dog, notice how the belly really snaps back. You can feel that beneath the hand, that real emphasis on exhale. That's what we're going for. So close your mouth now, feel that. So all the emphasis is on the exhale. There's really no need to even think about the inhale. It will just happen naturally. So that's the breath. That's called breath of fire. We'll be adding in this challenging arm position. I tell you, this is a challenging pose. So you work at your own pace and you build up to it. It is hard, and you can take breaks at any point. The fingers are drawn in, fingertips to the base of the fingers, thumbs are extended. And then you're bringing your arms out at this strong 60-degree angle. So we're going to put all that together, getting really tall, lifting up through the spine, lifting through the crown. And we'll close the eyes and begin. Ladies, if you are on the first day of your cycle, you might want to use a long, deep breath instead. And if you're pregnant or you think you're pregnant, just use a long, deep breath. Otherwise, we'll feel that pulsing at the navel, and you can even bring your internal gaze to the navel, like you're looking down towards the navel. Or another choice is to bring the internal gaze up to the third eye point to the center of the forehead. So that little lift of the gaze will really help anchor the mind. You might need to keep reminding yourself to come back to that gaze. You can find some softness in the shoulders, even though the arms are really committed. And keep that tall spine lifting up through the crown. You're likely feeling that deep connection you're making to your belly, to the navel, and this is the third chakra area connected to your will, your personal power. So as you pulse the breath, see if you can feel that sense of personal power that originates at the navel. And my teacher often talks about how important it is to connect to our navel, especially when there's a lot of change, a lot of disturbance, that when we can be in our own personal power, we just don't feel the storms, the winds, we just don't feel it as much. Take a great big inhale and pause at the top of the inhale. Bring the thumbs together to touch overhead. Extend the fingers up towards the ceiling and reach up through the crown, up through the fingers. You can steady your gaze at that third eye point. Feel all this energy moving from your base up the spine. And then exhale, we'll gently release the arms down through space, like we're clearing a space for us. You can release the hands, palms up if that's comfortable, or take another position. And notice that connection you've made to your navel. You feel a little bit more like you. Notice where you feel sensations. You might feel a little bit of that energy, that bubbliness in the hands or in the face. You might feel a little more invigorated in the chest. Just notice what it feels like after that short practice. Beautiful. We're going to come to all fours, so coming to tabletop position. We'll set up for cat-cow. So with the wrists underneath the shoulders, we'll inhale and arch, exhale and round. So getting into the spine here, if you can move with the breath, so that you're inhaling and finding that arch as you lift the chest, lift the tail, lift that crown, and then exhale and round down, lifting up from the back of the heart. So really getting in your body this morning. See if you can feel what it feels like to move your spine in this way. Get really curious about what it feels like to move your spine this way. You can access places you don't normally access. Good, and then come to neutral. We'll extend the left leg back, point the toes down towards the floor, extend the right arm forward. See if you can find a little stillness as you balance here. And then again, we'll work the core as we draw the knee to the elbow, draw in. And then reach out and inhale. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Oh, that's good. And then we'll release and switch sides. Right leg reaches back, point the toes straight down towards the floor. Extend the left arm long. And try to find a little steadiness here, a little stillness. Find your breath. Inhale, reach out long. Exhale, draw everything in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, reach, get long. Exhale, draw in. Good. And release hands to the floor. And here you can find your way to down dog if that feels all right, lifting the hips up and back. Or another variation is to take child's pose, bringing the hips back to the heels. So take a pose that works for you, honoring your body and always making the pose work for your body so that you're fitting the pose to your body versus your body to the pose. Good, and then if you're in down dog or child's pose, we'll make our way to a forward fold position. So releasing with a little bend in the knees, or perhaps a big bend in the knees, into a forward fold, letting the head go. Forward
Forward folds are very calming for the system. See if you can notice that sense of shift that happens when you bring the head below the heart. You can keep a nice bend in the knees or start to lengthen through the back of the legs, whatever feels accessible for you today, but really just enjoy letting the head go. Letting gravity take hold. You can even shake the head out. Shake it yes, or shake it no. Good, and then we'll slowly roll on up to stand. And we're gonna get into our legs a little bit here. So sinking into a chair position, you're rooting the seat back, and you can have hands in prayer. If you have any knee issues, I encourage you to take a block, and you can just place it right between the knees, and it's like you're hugging the block with the knees. So weight is back, you want to be able to see your toes. You can hang out here, but find your breath, and find your connection to your legs. If you'd like a little bit more oomph, you can tap one leg out to the side a few times. Still sinking down into your chair, and then mindfully tapping the other leg. You can play with that, really connecting to your legs and bringing energy down, grounding. Good. Take one more breath here. And exhale to release. Good. And then let's come into a balanced position. So again, really great way to get grounded is by connecting to our legs and balancing. So I don't know if you'll be able to see me here, but we're going to be moving into a one-legged position. So you can root down through your right leg and just lift the left knee up. And if you're by a wall, you can find a little steadiness from the wall if you'd like. Finding that right angle at the knee and at the hip and at the ankle. You can stay here, finding a steady gazing point in front of you. You can also work to come into tree pose, so bringing the foot either below or above the knee. You can also bring the toes to the floor as a little kickstand. Make it work for you. And again, find that steady gazing point. And then the trick here is to bring your awareness down. Feel all those little micro moves your body's making, all these miraculous ways that it supports us. Let's recognize that. And if you're very steady and still, make it interesting. You can lift your arms up. You can lift your gaze up. All those tend to make the pose a little bit more interesting, and that's what you want. And here, as we ground through the standing legs, if you can feel also this expansiveness as you reach up through the arms, extending out from the heart. Feel that expansion. Take one more breath. And we'll release on down. Imagine that you can draw a breath up from the right sole of the foot all the way up the right side to the crown. Exhale down the left side to the sole. Inhale up the right side to the crown. And exhale down the left side to the sole. And then bring the weight into the left foot. Find your gazing spot, and we'll switch sides as you lift the leg into one-legged mountain pose. Find your gazing spot and feel that connection of the left leg to the earth beneath you. You can stay with that. You can be by a wall for support. You can play with bringing the foot into tree position. And find your steady gaze. Looking to bring energy down, and as we do that, we move it away from the busyness of the mind, literally moving it away and down towards the legs, towards our base. See if you can feel that sense of being rooted to the earth here. And make it interesting. You want to extend the arms up, you want to look up, play with the gaze. Maybe there's another standing pose that you'd like to work with. It's more challenging. Make it interesting and feel that sense of being really rooted and grounded through your base, but then also expansive through your heart, through your hands, through your whole upper body. Feel that. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release on down. Good, and take a moment here to feel the legs on the floor, the feet on the floor. Imagine that you can draw a breath up through the soles, up to the crown. I am. Exhale back down to the soles here. So inhaling up, I am. And exhaling down here. And see if you feel that truth in that. You feel more connected to this present moment. Connected to your legs, connected to the earth beneath you. Beautiful. All right, we're going to move into a little breath meditation. So again, going back to your seat. Find that way of supporting yourself here. If you'd like to place something underneath the hips. I'm going to move into yet another one of my favorite breath practices, and this one is nicknamed by my teacher, Kia Miller, the anti-insanity breath. And we'll be placing our left hand out in front of us. I'm doing the opposite of you. The palm is facing the chest, and the right hand is on the back of the left, and the thumbs are connected. It's like we're trying to make a straight line that's parallel to the floor. And you can close your eyes here. And we're going to work to bring a little bit of pause to the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. So we're inhaling fully, pause, exhale, and pause. Inhale, pause, 1, 2, 3, exhale, pause, 1, 2, 3, inhale, pause, 1, 2, 3, exhale, pause, 1, 2, 3. So working with those pauses, make them work for you. So if that 3 count felt a little much, make it work for you. If you feel like you've got space to expand the pause, you can expand it to where it gets a little bit more interesting. Making those pauses work for you. But noticing if there's any gripping in the pause. So if there's any gripping or strain, see if you
can instead find softness in the paws. Like you're just gently cupping a butterfly. To anchor the mind, you can even count the paws at the top and at the bottom. And then let's inhale together and take a pause at the top. Exhale, release everything, release that effort, release the hands down. And take stock of what you're creating inside. You can notice the breath. Maybe it feels a little easier to take a long, deep breath. Notice any sensations in the body. Or maybe it's just an overall sense of spaciousness or lightness. There's a little bit more room for you. You're a little bit more connected. Come a little more online. And now from this place, let's invite an intention for our day. What would you like to tune into in your day? What channel would you like to turn to? And what would that look like if you move through your day from that place? Bringing the hands together at the heart. Thank you so much for practicing today, for taking care of yourself.